Whoa, whoa, what's going on here? How you doing? Hey folks, welcome to the live stream or the replay, whichever the case may be. In this video, I'm going to share with you the 5 essential marketing principles. Now, I will be relating it to musicians. I'll actually be reading from my book, the Guerrilla Music Marketing Handbook. However, these principles will apply to you no matter what area of the arts, or actually no matter what area of interest you are pursuing. If you're a human being and you have aspirations to do something cool and you want to promote it and get the word out and be effective, then this is something that I think you'll really appreciate. These 5 points that I'm going to cover in this video on marketing. I want to say hi to Tom and Matt. By the way, in case you don't know who I am, or it's been a while since we connected, I want to say hi to Ann, who may have joined us too. My name is Bob Baker. I'm the author of a number of books, including the Guerrilla Music Marketing Handbook, also the Empowered Artist, the Passion Principles books for musicians and authors and creative people of all types to help educate, inspire, and empower you to express your creativity and share it with the world. It's sort of like what my mission in life is. If you don't mind, leave a comment. Say hi, Bob, or whatever you want to say in the comments. Let me know where you're watching from. Yeah, comment on what I'm saying. If you want to embellish what I'm talking about, add your comments to the conversation. So there's a section here from the introduction of the Guerrilla Music Marketing Handbook, which, by the way, this is like my flagship title. It was my second book overall, a physical book. And I've published 15 physical paperback books over the years. My first one came out in '93, and it was called 101 Ways to Make Money in the Music Business. And it got me on the map as an author, which was awesome. But then after that, I find myself more and more drawn to marketing and sales and promotion. This is my first self-published title. Most of my books over the years have been self-published, but this got me on the map, and one of my most popular books. It's used in colleges and universities. In fact, tomorrow I start my second semester as an adjunct professor at Lindenwood University here in St. Louis. So this book is really close to my heart. The cool thing about it is that it appeared in the movie The School of Rock, starring Jack Black. I kid you not. Miranda Cosgrove, the actress, is carrying it in a classroom scene. And so if you've ever seen that movie, you've seen my book. My book is a star. I wasn't in the movie, but my book made it in there. So this is from the introduction of the book, and I realized that these things are really helpful just in their own sense. So basically, this is the little section in the introduction. It says, here are 5 essential principles that run throughout these pages, and if you understand them now, you'll get a lot more out of the book. But just by reading these, whether you have the book or not, and I hope you do, especially if you're a musician, just by thinking about these things and being aware of them, I think will help you in the pursuit of anything, but especially if you're marketing. All right, so here we go. Again, there's a lot of references to musicians here. If you're a musician, great. If not, just apply this to your own area of expertise. So number 1 in our 5 essential marketing principles, lessons from the Guerrilla Music Marketing Handbook. Number 1 is question everything you've ever been told about the music business. If you get involved in the music biz for long, you'll encounter plenty of people, some with impressive resumes, who will offer you their best advice on the music business. And that's fine. The more information you take in, the better educated you'll be. But remain flexible and open-minded. The rules are changing quickly. They change all the time. So beware of anyone with an outdated black and white view of the world, or beware of anyone who says you have to do it this way. I just all right, I just run the other way. So these days, here's the deal. You get to pick and choose which existing rules apply to you. And you can create more empowering rules that suit you along the way. Now, I'm not encouraging you to be an anarchist and say, screw anybody else's advice. I can figure this out on my own. I mean, there's a lot of well-meaning mentors, and you should seek out advice and read books and attend seminars and all that stuff. However, don't get attached to any one route to success. What worked for one artist might inspire you, but it may not be the path that you actually take reaching more fans. So it's a very individualized thing. And I know this because not only have I lived a life, self-employed in the arts, but over the years, through my decade of publishing Spotlight magazine here in St. Louis, through a couple of decades of being online and interviewing hundreds and hundreds of successful musicians and artists, everyone has their own individualized success story. There's no one path. And so again, while you can be inspired and somebody might say this is the way you got to do it, you have to find your own way. So just be open and just question everything you've ever been told about the music business, and also beware of your knee-jerk reactions like, oh, I need to have a press release, or I need to do X, Y, and Z to promote my upcoming album because that's the way everybody's always done it. Well, step back, and it may or may not be. So just question everything you've ever been told about the music business or whatever area of expertise you're in. Number 2 of the 5 essential marketing principles is give yourself permission to succeed. The biggest mistake you can make is waiting for someone or something else to deem you worthy of pursuing a music career. You don't need an official sanction or a green light from anyone other than yourself and the segment of the fan population you serve. So go ahead and give yourself approval right now. And if you're reluctant to give yourself approval, and I know a lot of people are because they have these issues with self-worth and the value they bring to the world, I tell you what, I'll give you permission. I'm giving you permission right now. Be a musician. Be an artist. You are a writer. You are a creative individual. I give you the green light to go ahead, go forth and express that creativity. All right? Let's all give each other permission to do that thing that we feel compelled to do. Now, here's the thing. Just because you give yourself permission to pursue that, that does not mean the world owes you a living. That's the important thing to keep in mind here. I'm not suggesting that you claim that you're a musician and that you're going to then automatically support yourself. There's a lot of things that have to take place for that to happen. But for you to simply claim your worth as an artist so that you're going to pursue this thing, you don't need anyone's permission to deem you worthy. Oh, Michael Wood is here. One of your best course. Oh, this is awesome. Yeah, for 5 years, I taught a course that I created for Berklee College of Music in Boston. But this was an online course that I taught from this very room, Michael. And Michael says, one of the best course professors Berklee has ever had. Wow, that's quite an honor, man. Michael's one of my students, and I think you're in Ottawa, right, in Canada? I believe a very successful musical entrepreneur there. So thank you for saying that, man. So give yourself permission to succeed. And there's a little line in there that I don't want to gloss over. It says all you need is permission from yourself and this is crucial, the segment of the fan population that you serve. So really, that's the only group that you need to serve and get permission from. If you can attract fans and get enough people to say, hey, I like that dude or that gal or that group, and I'm going to support them, I'm going to share what they do, then that's really the only accreditation. You don't need a degree. You don't need some mentor or some judge on American Idol or America's Got Talent or whatever, The Voice, to tell you that you're worthy. Give yourself that permission to pursue it, and then let fans indicate, whether you're able to support yourself. That's what it comes down to. But to be able to reach those fans, you need to put some marketing principles into your life and do it in an authentic way. So that was number 2. Let's move on to number 3. Number 3 is whenever you take action to promote your music, you must know exactly why you're taking the action to begin with. Action by itself is not enough. You must know the purpose behind your actions. What is the real outcome that you desire? The best way to make sure you're going about things effectively is to come up with a plan that makes sense, have very focused goals, and realize that you need to provide a benefit or a solution to everyone you connect with in the music business. So there's a lot in there. There's one paragraph. There's a lot to unpack. And of course, throughout the book, I go into many details about aspects of that. But so here's the thing about taking action. If you're taking any sort of action, you actually should applaud yourself because you're doing more than the majority of the creative population. So if you're just doing stuff or getting your stuff out there or, making phone calls or doing gigs, awesome. pat yourself on the back, because most people just think about stuff, wishful thinking. They don't get out there. They don't take action. That's why I'm doing this 30-day program. It's called the 30-day Build Your Fan Base Challenge, because everyone participating is committing to sharing their art, their music, their work on a daily basis just for 30 days in a row. So it's developing that habit muscle of sharing. If you're taking any type of action, that's awesome. However, the next level above that is being strategic about the action that you take. Because a lot of people just get busy doing stuff, but it's not tied to a goal. It's not really serving them. Like, for instance, in that 10-year period where I published the local music newspaper, I was approached a lot by people seeking out press. And a lot of the local musicians in particular would just reach out and go, "Hey, I want to get covered in your newspaper." So they were taking action. They were letting me know what they wanted, but they weren't really thinking it through how they could approach me in a beneficial way. Give some thought to how you're promoting, instead of just throwing out, "Hey, we got a gig coming up Saturday night," and making an announcement about it, which is cool. You are trying to create awareness. If you give some thought, you could come up with a theme night, or let people know what they're going to get. Make something special about the evening so that people will be more enticed or willing to come. But this thing about realize that you need to provide a benefit or a solution to everyone you connect with. So anytime you communicate with somebody, this is something I hammer home over and over. You got to switch around, put yourself in their shoes, see the communication through their eyeballs, and realize what's in it for them. And you got to communicate that in a way, but that takes some thought. So again, these are just like basic principles. I'm scratching the surface, but these are really important things to know. So again, I'm covering the 5 essential marketing principles. I just done 3. Now we're heading on to 4. Okay, number 4, think outside. There we go. I see some now. Think outside of your mental box. Thank you very much. I love seeing those. So here's the deal. Human beings are creatures of habit. Can you see me still? Yes, I think you can. We become victims of our own routines. Therefore, it's no surprise that we slip into a narrow way of doing things. Habits are quite useful when they involve like brushing your teeth, getting dressed, driving the car. But when it comes to promoting your music, this routine way of thinking and acting is stunting your progress. When you market yourself the same way you've always done it, or the same way 1,000 other artists have done it before you, you become part of the great music swamp in which everyone sounds and looks the same. Don't get lulled into monotony. Break those patterns. Yeah, so this is interesting. Yeah, the way our brains work is we're pattern recognizing machines. And so we get into routine ways of thinking and maybe eating too. And so even though we think we're artists and creative and we're expansive thinkers and all this, we get into these routines and these patterns that serve us well in many areas of our life. Again, when I go to drive the car, I don't have to think, where do I put the key? How do I steer it? You know, it's like part of my muscle memory, or I kind of on autopilot on some things and so that helps us in many ways because it frees the brain up to focus on other things. But unknowingly, your brain creates patterns in other areas, including marketing and how you promote yourself and how you think you should be showing up in the world as an artist. So you sort of have to go out of your way to break up those patterns and do something different. And that's where this sort of, I'm always poking and prodding people to think differently and have a different perspective about things. So don't get lulled into monotony. Don't do the things the way you've always done it or the way other people have done it. When you have those knee-jerk reactions, as I mentioned earlier, always question, is this really the best thing for me? And finally, number 5 here is, it's a really important one. One of the 5 essential marketing principles, number 5 is have fun. Marketing shouldn't be so damn serious. There's a misguided belief that defeats most musicians before they even start promoting themselves. It's the notion that to market yourself effectively, you have to shift into serious business mode. That you have to be an expert in all facets of marketing strategy and not make any mistakes. No wonder so many artists are repulsed by marketing. Geez, I'm getting a headache just thinking about it now in these terms. So to my way of thinking, marketing is simply a natural extension of the creative process. It's something you play with and experiment with to find the right combinations that work, similar to how you create music. All right. So it's an extension of the creative process. It's not something that you have to take off the creativity hat and put on the boring business hat. It's not, don't think of, if you're thinking of marketing as this drudgery, as this bore, as this chore that you have to do, you're never going to get on friendly terms with it. But what if you could be just as playful and creative with marketing as you are with the art itself? Oh, to my way of thinking, marketing is simply a natural extension of the creative process. It's something you play with and experiment to find the right combinations that work. Gamify it if it helps. Similar to how you create music. Promotion should not be a burden. It should be energizing and enjoyable. You should bring a sense of playfulness and creativity to your marketing. Yes, when done right, you can actually have fun with it. You're not going to hear that in most marketing seminars or workshops. People are going to tell you got to treat your music like a business. And if you're not serious, get out. That's never been my message. And so I hope this helps. So Eric says, tuned in mid-show. I guess on Facebook I'm playing tonight at Hammerstone's. I got a steady gig. So he's at a steady gig at a place here in Soulard. And so, yeah, no, I'm not saying like they're playing a steady gig every week. That's awesome. I mean, most musicians would kill for that. When you come to marketing it, are you just saying, hey, we're at Hammerstones again? Could you like switch things up and have a theme? I don't know if that's a weekly gig or if it's a monthly gig at this particular place, but you might be able to spice things up by maybe doing a set where you cover a certain artist. I'm just throwing some stuff out here. I don't know exactly what you play, Eric, but let's say, hey, this Saturday night we're going to do a special set dedicated to James Taylor, or we're going to do songs from the 70s or whatever. So mix things up, and maybe even it's already part of your normal repertoire. Focus on a certain aspect of the songs that you play so that each gig is a little special. Have a guest artist come in and say, hey, joining us Saturday night will be so-and-so, and we're going to be, so there's a little bit of so you put some thought into it, you're shaking up, you're just not showing up and playing the same set list. So even on a house gig like that, yeah, you can do something that's creative and fun and still within your wheelhouse. And so I hope this is helpful. And so, yeah, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching the replay later, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Add some. I would love for you to add to the conversation here. And by the way, so yeah, if you're a musician and you don't own the Guerrilla Music Marketing Handbook, it's a highly acclaimed book. It's available on Amazon. Here's one place where you can go. So my website, my music marketing website is thebuzzfactor.com. Again, that's thebuzz, B-U-Z-Z, factor.com, all one word. Go there and you'll quickly be able to find a reference to the Guerrilla Handbook. Click the books tab if you can't find it. It's available in paperback. It's available as in various ebook formats. Yeah, I took the whole book and divided it into the 5 sections, created ebooks for each of those 5 sections. I have an audiobook of section 1, which includes this introduction and the first 4 chapters. And people that rave about it. It's a perennial bestseller. Oh, Bob Griffith's there. I think I own a first edition of this resource. Well, the very first one was actually in a 3-ring binder, Bob, like back in around 96. So if you, that's a really early version. Then it goes into a spiral bound one for a few years. Then I did an early kind of paperback version, and it's just increased the packaging over the years. And so, but it's been in this, it looks like it could go easily fit on the what do you call the shelves of a bookstore, if you remember what those are. So check out that. Let me know what you think. And yeah, this is day 5 of 30. So I'm becoming live most days. I'll be posting something every day for the 30 days for this challenge I'm involved with. And if this is going so well, I'm thinking about repeating it probably in April. And so if you want to get in on the action and join, we got artists from around the world, all across the U.S., Canada, London, Germany, Australia, and we're all dedicated to posting something and sharing our art on our music and so on in a regular basis. Oh, you have the 3-ring binder version. Awesome. You do have one of the early ones, man. We go way back, dude. That's awesome. So cool. And thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I'll wrap this up now and let you get back to your lives. I appreciate you being here. Go out, express your creativity, share it with the world. And if you're just catching the end of this, go back, watch this post in a few minutes and watch it from the beginning where I go through all of the 5 essential marketing principles. All right. Have an awesome day. This is Bob Baker saying so long for now.